Hi Scorpio, let's have a look what the cards have in store for you in September. So let's have a look. So the first card, nice one, is a court card, the King of Cups. Then we have the Seven of Wands and the Two of Pentacles. Looks very much like more work-related spread to me, but let's have a look. The King of Cups. This card shows that you're an established, maybe even an older or experienced person. This is someone who's intelligent, positive, and balanced. You are sensitive to the needs of others and seem calm and collected. Others may be fooled into thinking that you're a pushover because you're kind and you always like to help, but that's a big mistake. It seems like you have achieved something in life and can pass your life experience on to others. As a family person or as a parent, you are loving and intuitive, but firm in your beliefs or parenting style. At work, people probably see you as diplomatic and politically correct. You're most likely in a leading position and your leadership style is firm but fair. You have a great relationship with your employees or colleagues and probably know everybody on a first name basis and when it's their birthday or when their kids graduate or get married. You achieve things because you have a knack of knowing what they need and you know how to get them to collaborate. You have a nice way of dealing with people and they will do what you want them to do and they almost feel as if they're doing you a favor. If there is any tension or disagreements, you can disarm the situation in a calm and diplomatic way. Now, if you don't see these qualities within yourself, it could be that this describes an older or established man who will soon show up in your life. It could be a businessman or somebody who works with legal matters or a clergyman or a mentor of some sort. This person is considerate and prepared to take responsibility for his actions. He may come across as very caring and generous father figure who has a kind of calm and kind but firm air of authority around him. This person is a good listener who gives you thoughtful advice. This person, or it could also be you, has a deep understanding of human nature and knows what others need to grow or how to get them to develop further. They have a knack of nudging something out of people gently and pushing them in the right direction so that they can grow to their full potential. Your compassionate demeanor encourages you to create calmness and balance in your life. This card could mean that you learned how to control your feelings and emotions so that they don't get the better of you, even when life throws you a curveball. You have reached an emotional maturity and stability that you can draw on instead of letting things get to you. In situations where you previously may have lost your cool, you now manage to stop yourself and walk away from that situation, or you have found a way how to react calmly. Maybe people rub you up the wrong way and you take it personally. This card is telling you not to take the bait. Don't fly off the handle and let your emotions take the upper hand because you only end up hurting yourself. Be level-headed. State your boundaries. Don't create a drama or make a scene. Just be firm and try to remain calm. You're clever. So use your intelligence to make smart decisions and don't allow other people or situations to provoke or manipulate you. You have the ability to assess and manage a situation logically. You're a born leader. You have to use your intellect, your wisdom, and your intuition to steer people and bring out the best in them individually, but also as a team. So it's a really, really nice card, which shows that you've got everything in your power to be a great leader. So let's have a look at the second card, which describes your path or what action you should take. That's the Seven of Wands. The seven stands for reflection, assessment, and knowledge, whereas wands is your energy, your motivation, and your passion. This card is all about learning and becoming smarter or attaining a higher wisdom through being tested by making choices or learning to understand yourself better. You are being tested by others or even the universe. This is not the time to stick your head in the ground, to give up and give in. You need to stand your ground and stick even firmer to your beliefs. You've worked hard to get to where you are, and you're now in a position that others envy. They challenge you because they want to take your place. You may be proud of yourself, and you have every right to, but the atmosphere has turned into a tense and competitive environment. You can't focus on your role or truly enjoy your success because you need to constantly watch your back and protect and prove yourself. It's a sad fact of life, but the more successful you are, the more haters you will have, the more people who envy whatever it is that you represent or the status that you have achieved. You need to protect your ground and fight for what you stand for. You may even have to pull out some heavier weapons and get a lawyer to help you. In a personal situation, it could be that somebody is jealous of you and tries to make you look bad, that they try to ruin your reputation or blackmail you. There might even be a situation in your family or circle of friends that is getting out of hand, or you may have a disagreement with your partner. This card is telling you to be ready to firmly defend yourself or support your argument. Take any potential threats or risks into account and always be prepared for the worst case scenario. It's not always people that could lead to your downfall. Often there are outside circumstances that can mess things up or threaten your position. If you are working on a project, for example, it could be that there's a delivery bottleneck or any other problem that could throw some sticks into the wheels and the whole thing comes to a standstill. So if you're taken by surprise, you're probably unprepared for the battle, but you nevertheless need to hold the fort and defend yourself. Just learn from that situation and be better prepared the next time. You have to believe in yourself, be confident, work on yourself, and establish clear boundaries that you also have to protect. Whether this is a work situation, a family situation, or an argument with your partner, you need to have the courage and also be persistent in standing your ground so that you can move forward. If you don't, then you will lose the battle. So let's have a look at the third card, which is the Two of Pentacles. Now, the Two of Pentacles, this is very interesting. It's about your potential or the outcome of a situation. Again, this seems to be, it's balanced, it seems to be work-related. It's pretty safe to say that you are juggling your priorities, your roles, or your responsibilities. You're always busy or you have something on the go. You constantly juggle things. You wear multiple hats and you manage to be a homemaker, a parent, a worker, or a business owner, a mentor, a friend, and a volunteer, and everything at the same time. Even though your life might be chaotic, you manage to keep most of it under control. However, the downside is that you're spreading yourself thin. It's impossible to give everything your full attention, and as a result, things suffer. You spread yourself wide and low instead of reaching your full potential by focusing your efforts and spreading yourself more narrow and high. For example, you may be a working parent with a full-time job, a household, a partner, a busy social life, lots of friends that you also need to help out. On top of it, you could also be involved in a parent committee at school. You're doing an excellent job in balancing everything, and you feel it's just a case of proper organization and discipline. You may feel like Superman or Superwoman. Throw it my way. Whatever life wants to throw at me, I can deal with it. But you need to remember there's a thin line between coping and losing control. This card is here to tell you that you need to manage your time, your energy, and your resources carefully, or you're going to lose this balance. It just takes one little incident to throw a cog into the wheel, and your entire juggling act is going to collapse. You need to give yourself some leeway, have some downtime, because you cannot burn the candle at both ends all the time. Something will have to give, and more often than not, it's your health forcing you to take a break. Don't try and tell yourself that you don't have time, that you can't let somebody down, or that something is too important to take a break. You need to recharge your batteries. Even the strongest, longest lasting batteries will run out eventually. So have a rest and practice some self-care. You don't always have to be busy to get things done. Try to work smarter and not harder. If you spread yourself thin in all areas of your life, you're running in danger of losing sight of the bigger picture. If you can relate to this, you should ask yourself what you want in life. What are the most important things for you? Make a list of all the things that you do, and next to it, make a list of all the things that are important to you. If you draw a line between the things you have to do in order to get to what's important to you, you're on the right track. However, if you find that there aren't many connections, you should seriously consider dropping these things, as they have little or nothing to do with your goals. It's vital that you prioritize and reorganize your schedule. If you don't, something is going to suffer sooner or later. Will it be your job, your partner, your kids, or your health? If you are in a relationship, how do you think does your partner feel if you hardly have any time together? You probably have barely enough time to discuss the important issues with each other, let alone enjoy each other or go on a date night together. Sooner or later, something has to give, and it will probably be your relationship. In a work situation, it's probably your timekeeping that will suffer first, because it's not sustainable that everything is always going according to plan. Your car might break down, the bus or train might run late, and you end up in situations that can cause a lot of stress, but which also have other implications on your job. We all know that we start to make mistakes when we're constantly stressed. But that's not all. We also run the risk of a burnout. If you cannot adhere to deadlines, miss flights or important meetings, and on top of it you don't deliver the goods, you might be putting your job at risk. Without your income, things get worse. You could find yourself in a downward spiral. The way down is always a lot faster than trying to work yourself up again. So this card is telling you to be prepared, to be flexible. Readjust your schedule. Make time for yourself and your loved ones. You've proven to yourself and those around you that you're a multitasking talent and that you're great at organizing things, but they won't keep applauding you for it all the time. On the contrary, they see that you cope well and will probably hand you even more things to do. I can remember working for a company in the UK many years ago. I always took pride in my work and nothing was too much. The words "I can't" or "I'm too busy" or "I'm sorry, it's not enough time" just didn't exist in my vocabulary. Being acknowledged and the odd praise were on par for me with my salary. The entire situation ended in other people palming their jobs off onto me, and I was working long hours without extra pay or even praise. After a while, it became normal that I was the last one in the office, and it became expected. Instead of moving up the career ladder, I realized that they took me for granted. They used me. I was the mule who carried the load, no more, no less. Others who did far less work than me, but talked the talk, got promoted whilst I was still doing the same things as before, only more exhausted. My family and social life started to suffer until I realized what had happened. When I stopped and put up my boundaries, it's needless to say that others didn't see or acknowledge my boundaries as justified. They preferred to think of it as I'm slacking. If I hadn't moved away, it probably would have cost me my job. So don't make the same mistake. It's enough to know that you can do all these things, but there's no need to prove it to everyone around you constantly. The initial praise may soon lead to the assumption that it's normal for you to go the extra mile, and turning the cart around to get appreciated could prove very difficult. The same goes for a relationship or with children. You may find that it's easier to deal with obstacles yourself rather than allowing your kids or your partner to make their own mistakes, because it saves time if you sort things out yourself. What you don't often realize is that you start to become controlling. But that's not the only problem. You also subconsciously make your children or your partner dependent on you and disable them from making their own decisions in the future. You may think that your kids see you as an example, that you're buzzing around doing 10 things at the same time and having everything under control. In reality, you teach them to rely on you. And if you're not careful, they will abuse you because they're going to give you even more work. If you have a partner, you give them the feeling that they're expendable and they might be tempted to see if they are needed somewhere else. There are so many undercurrents when you overexert yourself too much, and the implications can be drastic. Always remember that things can change at the drop of a hat, and you have to strike a balance. You simply can't run a marathon every single day. Sometimes you have to stop to tie your laces or you will fall. You need to make time for your own health and well-being and for that of your children or your family. So good luck, Scorpio. I wish you all the best. Let me know in the comments if this resonates with you, and don't forget to like and subscribe. See you soon for more celestial wisdom, dear Scorpio.